If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you're someone who just started their own YouTube channel but has not seen any traction at all. Maybe you are a person who's trying to build a personal brand on YouTube or even trying to turn YouTube into a lead generation funnel, but you are struggling to get your videos past 100 views or even anyone to watch your videos in the first place. For many people, because of this, they would just quit YouTube because it's just a waste of their time. I mean, who would want to dedicate so much of their time on something that doesn't provide any results? So in this video, to overcome all of the problems that you're experiencing, I'm going to be showing you how you can successfully use YouTube Studios to catapult your own growth. Now, in my last video, I did touch on a little bit about how you can actually use YouTube Studios to improve your own video quality, but I didn't really go too much in depth on the thought process and how you can actually do this. If you're really interested in watching that video, you can definitely click it in one of the corners up here, which will be shown. So I wanted to make this video just going over YouTube Studios a little bit more in depth and showing you what I actually meant in that video. So to start off, there are a lot of tools that you have to know about when working on the YouTube Studios platform, but the most important tools that you have to know about is found in the content tab, which is right over here. This tab is crucial in giving you the necessary data to understand the direction and growth your channel would actually have to take. So just checking out one of my more recent posts here, you can see the view graph, the watch time, and the subscribers gained from this video. These statistics are really important in understanding which videos are actually doing really well for your channel and what type of content your audience actually enjoys the most. Now, to show you what I mean, if I bring up this video that I posted like a few months ago right here, you can see that the views, the watch time, and the subscriber count gain is much lower than anticipated. I mean, comparing this video to this video, there is a huge drop in the amount of results I've actually got when it comes to growing my own YouTube channel. So what this tells me is that this type of content isn't something my audience would actually enjoy, and I should actually try steering away from it or even try to improve upon it to make it a little bit better for my audience to enjoy watching. But with results like this, I would 100% try to steer away from making a little bit more case study videos about individual YouTubers, since as you can see, I'm not gaining any traction with this video whatsoever. So compared to this video instead, where I have a high view rate, a high watch time, and a lot more subscribers gained from this video, I should definitely consider making a lot more documentary style types of videos and introducing a lot more storytelling elements that made this video really popular for my viewers. But this isn't to say that you should avoid testing content at all, because this is something you definitely have to do in the beginning to understand what actually works on your YouTube channel and what doesn't. And that's what I was talking about in my last video about being consistent. You have to know what works and what doesn't work, and the only way to do that is just by consistently uploading a bunch of content. Even with this type of video that I'm recording right now, I'm just testing to see if anyone would be really interested in watching this type of content, or if there is an actual market out there that needs help with understanding how the YouTube Studios platform actually works for a creator. But don't worry, if you're here for my case study videos, I definitely have a lot more videos in the works and some bangers that are going to be released soon. Now, just taking a closer look at this video right here, the view graph gives us a good indicator of what type of video category your content actually falls under. Now, there are two types of video categories that you have to know about. The first being trend jacking content and the second being evergreen content. If you want a more in-depth understanding of what these two types of video categories are, then feel free to watch this video that I'm going to be linking somewhere here again. To identify which category your video falls under, you have to take a look at the view graph. As you can see with this video, there was a sharp increase in views at the beginning, but it then began to plateau and the views remained unchanged. Now, this is an indicator that this video is actually a trend jacking type of video, and it's getting most of its attention through the clicks on the YouTube homepage. The reason behind the plateau of views is because no one is specifically searching about this content on YouTube. It's mostly YouTube trying to promote this content by itself on the algorithm to people who may enjoy it. However, if we take a look at my first video that I uploaded, the view graph is steadily growing. There isn't a sudden random sharp increase in views, and the viewership growth is much more consistent. Now, this shows that this video is actually evergreen. The 7,400 views that I got on this video is mostly from people who are searching up this content on YouTube, and that's why this video is able to maintain a healthy amount of views. Now, this is not to say that evergreen content is 100% better than trend jacking content, because I definitely think that you need both types of content to be successful on YouTube. But I wanted to show you in this video how you can actually analyze your own view graph to understand what category your video falls under, and more importantly, what types of videos are contributing the most to your growth. either be it trend jacking or evergreen content. Also, just a small add-on to what I just mentioned, if you really want to make sure your video is either trend jacking or evergreen, you can definitely take a look at the traffic source down here right under the view graph. If your video has a majority of the traffic from the YouTube home section, then you would know that the video is trend jacking. But if the traffic source says that most of your views are actually coming from the search feature, then you know that your content is actually evergreen. Now I'm going to be talking about the audience retention rate tool shown in below this video right here that I'm scrolling down right now. This statistic is probably one of the most important tools you have to know about. It tells you when your audience clicks off and how long a viewer sticks to the end of your video. Taking a look at this video, for example, you can see that it sits around 20% retention rate, and 60% of my audience actually sticks all the way to the 30-second mark of the video. Just so you know, a good YouTube video averages around 20% retention rate. Anything below the 20% means that the video was just not really interesting, and the YouTube algorithm is more enticed to not push that video out and would deem it to be a really bad video. So what you should be trying to do is to aim anything above 20%. I would 100% recommend hitting a 30 to 40% retention rate. This is because it will tell YouTube that, hey, this video is really good and it's above average, and they're more enticed to actually push that video out to a bunch of people who really wants to watch it. If the retention rate was any lower, as I just mentioned, then it was a bad video idea to just start off with. It shouldn't have been made, and to be honest, it was probably gonna suck. But if you have a really good video idea that speaks to your audience's core problems, then the retention rate would actually be really high. Now, if we look at one of my videos that I previously uploaded, you can see that the retention rate is around 37%, which is really high. And this indicates that, hey, this video is actually really good and really interesting for viewers to actually watch and enjoy. And that's why I was able to hit 2.5 thousand views on this video. Now, there are two ways that you can actually implement into improving your retention rate. The first being is to actually develop a really good video idea. Without a really strong video idea, then you can expect your retention rate to be in like the 5 to 10% range. So you want to make sure that your video idea has a bucket load of information that the viewer would 100% enjoy. And throughout the video, you just want to sprinkle all of that information and make the viewer stick all the way to the end. Now, a really cool analogy to explain this type of thing I'm trying to explain is becoming a doctor. A doctor would actually go through the entire process of diagnosing a patient, giving them the necessary information and the solution at the end of their diagnosis. And this exact same concept can be applied to a YouTube video as well. In the YouTube video, you want to give as much information as possible for your video idea to your audience, and at the end of the video, you just give a solution. And I can guarantee you that if you were to do this, your viewers would 100% stick to the end of the video and just watch it. Now, the second way you can actually increase your retention rate is by including a lot more storytelling elements. People love to hear a great story. That's why we all sit around the table and quiet down when someone is gossiping, because we just want to hear about the story. Stories is what draws people in, and that's what you should be trying to do with your own YouTube videos. To give you an example of how storytelling works, you should definitely watch my more recent upload. I applied a lot of storytelling elements to make my videos a lot more entertaining and take my viewers on a journey. Because of this, my viewers often stuck to the end of the video to hear what the final conclusion was. And that's why these videos like this one was able to hit over 20% retention rate. You also gotta remember this too. YouTube is a platform for entertainment. People go on there just to be entertained. So don't be afraid to introduce some storytelling elements to get your viewers hooked onto the video. Okay, now that I'm done talking about the retention rate, let's move on to the next section, which is the reach tab here. This section is far more important than what it was actually used to be before. This is because of the impressions tab that YouTube recently added. The impressions tab shows you the number of people who saw your content when YouTube pushes it out initially. So to be more specific with the statistic, it actually shows you the potential viewership you can actually gain when making this type of content. If your audience that saw your video really likes it, then YouTube would promote your video to more people. That's why you'll often see your impressions to reach the thousands of figures, because YouTube thinks that, hey, it can actually hit this amount of people if the content is actually that good. So videos with really high impressions like this can expect really high views in return. Now, to show you what I actually mean by the importance of impressions, I'm going to show you my first YouTube video right here, which has over 127,000 impressions. And now there you can see that there's a positive correlation between the amount of impressions you can get and the amount of views. YouTube would actually look at the number of views, the amount of likes, the amount of comments, and the amount of shares the video has gotten. If all of these metrics are really high, then this is actually a good indicator for YouTube to push this content out to more people and increase the amount of impressions that you get on the video. So if I were to go back to my screen right here, and you can see my two videos right here, This is why you can actually see that, hey, this video is getting like a few hundred impressions like every day compared to this one where it's actually getting thousands of impressions per day. And that's what I mean by the interactability. YouTube is trying to determine if this video is really good by just looking at how interactable the content is. And with high interactability, YouTube is more inclined to push content out to more people who, A, would love to be interacting with the creator. So now you know the importance of impressions. So how do you increase it to maximize your views? Well, there are actually 3 ways that you can actually do this. The first being is having a great video idea to begin with, and I said this before and I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Without an interesting video topic or a video idea that solves a specific problem that a viewer is experiencing, the video won't have a chance of being promoted by YouTube. Alongside this, you should definitely be including a bucket load of information and storytelling elements, as I mentioned before, to increase the amount of impressions that you can actually expect on the video. Now, the second way to increase the amount of impressions that you can get on your video is by using effective SEO. What you should be doing is including a lot of prime keywords in your titles and thumbnails to help your potential viewers understand what the video is going to be about. So you should definitely avoid making very clickbaity titles such as like, you should definitely know about this, or like, oh, why I stopped doing this, because no one really wants to click on that and it's really clickbaity and no one is that stupid nowadays. You don't want to waste your viewers' time and you don't want to waste your own time, so just title the video exactly how the video is meant to be. Now, to really promote that video to increase the impressions, the thumbnail should complement what the title is going to be about. And you can definitely do this by including a lot more eye-catching colors, huge imagery, a lot of depicting graphics, a lot of more contrasting images, and so on. That way, for anyone who's lucky enough to have your videos pushed out to them, they would instantly know what your video is going to be about and are more inclined to actually click on it. Now, finally, the last way to actually increase the impressions and the amount of views you can get on your video is by interacting with your audience. And that is something I should actually do a lot more often to improve my own impressions. You want to respond to as many comments as possible. This is because YouTube believes that there's a lot of meaningful interactions being made between the creator and the viewer. So this makes YouTube want to promote the content a lot more, since they would be telling a lot of these potential viewers that, hey, there's actually a conversation being made with this video, so you should definitely join in on the conversation and add to it. And that's why nowadays, if you were to click on a YouTube video that is really popular, you'll actually notice that there is a bunch of people talking in the comments and the actual creator replying to them. Now, with these 3 ways of increasing your impressions, I can guarantee that you can actually hit thousands or even hundreds of thousands of views on your own video, and I'm going to be trying to do that myself to reach those goals. Now, there is one last tool that I do want to touch on, which is the click-through rate. Now, this tool is very important in understanding how many of these potential viewers from the impressions are clicking onto your video. Now, an average range for a YouTube video would be around 2 to 3%. So you want to try and aim for a click-through rate of 5 to 8%. And that's what the majority of my videos are able to achieve. The reason for having a really high click-through rate, as many YouTubers have mentioned before, is because it tells YouTube that, hey, this video is really attractive and really interesting for the viewers to actually click on, so they're more enticed to promote the video. And this works hand in hand with the amount of impressions you can actually get on the video. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to play favor with the YouTube algorithm and actually improve your click-through rate so that YouTube would actually promote it to a bunch of more people. But if you want to increase your click-through rate like crazy, then why not you just book a call with me using the link in my description. I'll actually hop on a call with you to see if I can actually help growing your own YouTube channel, and of course hit all the goals and figures that you want by the end of this year. All you gotta do is click the link in my description and pick a time that fits you best. And to be honest, that's all for today's video. I hope this video was really informative in helping you understand how you can actually use YouTube Studios to understand how your YouTube channel is going to grow in the future. There are a lot of tools on YouTube Studios that are really beneficial, and I see a lot of creators that aren't using them. That's why there's so many creators that just flunk out or just quit in the beginning because they just don't understand their growth. But YouTube is literally just telling them with this data sheet that, hey, it's actually possible if you just look at the statistics. Now, if there are any more questions on how you can actually grow on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment and I will answer it, because I do want to increase my own impressions. If you like this video, feel free to like it, share it, and even subscribe to my own YouTube channel. Other than that, why don't you just take everything that I said in this YouTube video and apply it to your own YouTube channel so you can go kill it on YouTube.